Hello and welcome to FPL First, giving you the latest news, reviews and tips on everything EPL and FPL. Thanks for joining me in this episode for the FPL and EPL Game Week 4 review. So if you are new here, thanks for stopping by, and if this is not your first FPL episode, what about giving a massive thumbs up to help support the channel? Anyway, let's get into the episode. So if you are new here, this channel talks about everything EPL and FPL, giving previews, reviews and all kinds of news. So if this interests you, why not consider subbing to the channel for future content? Moving on to this weekend's action, we start off on Saturday where Liverpool fought a hard-earned 3 points away to Leicester, whereby two first-half goals from the informed Mane and Firmino was just enough to edge out a terrible keeping mistake by Alisson in goal, whereby he attempted a Cruyff turn inside his own box, leaving Iheanacho to take the ball from his feet and set up a nervous end to the game. However, Liverpool had enough to see the game out in the end, meaning it was a 2-1 win to Liverpool, with Joe Gomez having a man-of-the-match performance in my opinion, something that bodes well for England going into the international break. After the late pullout of Zaha, Crystal Palace were always going to struggle for goals, and this was exactly the case when they brushed aside by a struggling Southampton 2-0 at home. Desperately missing the forward's flair and hold-up play up top, there was no help from the other forward in Benteke, who couldn't seem to hit the target despite having clear-cut chances inside the box. Clearly this is a problem going into the future for Crystal Palace if they can't find any goals without Zaha being on the pitch. Next, another surprise was seen when Everton were unable to win against the Huddersfield side yet to win in the EPL this season. In a game that many thought should be easily winnable on paper for Everton, including myself, turned out to be harder than it should have been. Fair play to Huddersfield, they played a solid game and deserved the win. Moving on, Chelsea and Man City both won games they were expected to win comfortably in this game week, and they have managed to maintain their good form at the start of this EPL season, with Chelsea having a 100% record and Man City only dropping points in that draw last week. Overall, these teams will definitely be at the top of the league towards the end of the season, so there's no surprises from these two teams this week. On Sunday was the best action of round 4, with Cardiff giving Arsenal a very difficult game in which they came from 2 times behind to make it 2-2 before a magical goal from Lacazette helped the visitors to secure their second win of the campaign. The same was for Man United, who also got their second win of the campaign, with Lukaku helping his side to win with 2 goals to help relieve some pressure off a Jose Mourinho manager looking a bit desperate in the last couple of games. Lastly, a shock result in Watford saw Spurs go from the high of last week at Man United to a massive low this weekend, just proving that the EPL, anyone can win and no one is unbeatable. More about this game later in the episode. Firstly though, let's take a look at the best game of the weekend, or at least for a neutral point of view. I didn't enjoy the game when it was 2-2 as an Arsenal fan. In a game that was dominated by Arsenal, it was a game of taking chances in the end. Cardiff had plenty of shots on goal and failed to hit the target enough times, which ultimately was their downfall in this game, and why they didn't come out with any points, which on reflection is more than what they deserved. In the end, it was the class of the Arsenal striking duo in Aubameyang and Lacazette who both got their EPL campaigns off running in this game, with many Arsenal fans now calling for both of them to start together every game from now on. Lacazette looked like a player trying to prove a point on his first full start of the season and didn't disappoint with a goal, 5 shots and a man-of-the-match performance. After the game, Arsenal manager Unai Emery said, "I enjoyed the win. In the 90 minutes it was difficult. I think we controlled the match, not every time but 70% on the pitch with possession, positioning, attacking movement. It's important to continue working." 1 goal for Lacazette, 1 for Aubameyang, but I think every other player worked well with commitment we want. We are happy for that and we are evolving. It has to be said that Unai Emery will be a relieved manager going into the international break, now having 2 wins under his belt and also claiming his first away win of his campaign and also his career at Arsenal. However, he will still be concerned with the defence and will also have the dilemma of whether or not he is going to be starting Lacazette and Aubameyang together in the near future. One thing is for certain that he should be doing during the international break, and that is practicing his English, because still it is quite bad. In contrast, despite his team losing, a fairly upbeat Warnock said about his team, "It's tough, but I really enjoyed the game. It was a great game to watch from the sidelines, and I thought we were always in it." Top teams take their chances. There's a lot to work on, but we didn't want to park the bus. We wanted the fans to enjoy it, and I felt we gave them a good game here. We could have got a result, really. And in truth, he isn't lying. Cardiff had many good chances in this game, and they just couldn't seem to get the key chances they had on target. Especially the one where Cech gifted the ball to Arthur and he blasted over the bar. On another day, these chances could have been taken and the result could have been very different. So there is positives to look for Cardiff, especially considering this was their first 2 goals of their EPL campaign. Taking a look at the shock of the week, and it comes back to the previously mentioned game between Watford and Spurs. In a game not too dissimilar to that in the Cardiff-Arsenal game, the stats are pretty similar, but it was the quality of finishing which helped Watford grab all 3 points, helping them to maintain their perfect start to the EPL campaign. No small feat considering it is now only them, Liverpool and Chelsea that have this record. The man for Watford, though, is their ever-reliable striker, Troy Deeney, grabbing another goal in this game and making his physical presence ever so clear to the Spurs defence, who struggled to cope with him for large parts of the game. Talking about Watford's star player, Watford's manager, Gracia, said, "He has a special personality. I've already seen and said many times he is very important on and off the pitch. Today he showed that again, but it is no surprise for me." Also, talking about the team's win, it had been an amazing start. We were in a good moment and trying to enjoy it, knowing we have won 4 games, but it is only 4 games. In contrast, a manager who must be wondering how his team has gone from the high of last week to this low so quickly is Spurs manager Pochettino, who said, "We need to show more respect to this competition. It's difficult for me to understand after 4 years of us being contenders. Today, from the beginning, we needed to go there like a lion. If you want to win, you need to show that character. Maybe you cannot play so well, but you need to win this type of game if you want to be a contender at the end of the season." Overall, it's been a very weird week for Spurs, having such a high at Man United beating them 3-0 to this low of losing 2-1 to Watford. They will be glad to be going to the international break at this time to help them try and regroup. Plus, they'll have the bonus of Son Heung-min coming back from the Asian Games, who will be probably ready to start in the next game, or at least available. Obviously, that would be a big decision for Pochettino considering how well Lucas Moura has been playing in recent times. Okay, if we look at the highest performance of the week, there is no surprises that Lacazette and Lukaku is on the list after both were pivotal in their games. A surprise inclusion of Murray was no more than what the striker deserved, with more of him later. Cedric made this list after the attacking defender helped his team beat a poor Crystal Palace, managing to keep a clean sheet away from home. And then the player I recommended in my round 4 preview, Eden Hazard, who once again was on fire against Bournemouth. Despite there being 4 joint top scorers this week, I have singled out the Arsenal man. This is because it is just his first full EPL start for the Gunners and pulled out a performance that surely cements his team in the first team from now on. With just 2.8% of people having him in their team, he must now be turning heads to potentially put the striker in your FPL team. However, I am well aware it is a massive risk due to his 9.4 price tag and no guaranteed start in the next game against Newcastle. But with 1 goal and 1 assist, 5 shots, 4 in the box and 3 on target, he is clearly eager to play and got his shooting boots on, making him a serious player to think about before the start of Gameweek 5. Moving on to my hero of the week, it is the unexpected inclusion of Glenn Murray into the top scorers list, and to be fair to the 34-year-old, he played a brilliant match and was so crucial for Brighton in getting them a well-earned point. With 2 goals, his aggression was too much for the Fulham defence and his awareness of the game is just sublime. Whatever he lacks in his age and pace, he makes up with intelligence and physicality. With 12 game week 4 points, he will have players looking at him closely, but I doubt many people will choose to put the 6.5 rated striker in their FPL team, considering some of the other players in the same price range being more likely to get points in the near future, such as Mitrovic, who also bagged another goal in the same game. So that is it for my game week 4 review. Sorry I didn't include actual highlights of the EPL like last week's video, but my computer was playing up, so I gave up. Anyway, I will have them for you in the next game week after the international break. If you are new and still here, consider subscribing for more content like this in the near future. For all the FPL First community, I will be uploading some videos more related to the EPL and also a live game I will be going to, being South Korea vs Costa Rica. So look out for that live blog. My Twitter is below in the description for communication outside of YouTube, and thanks for watching up till here. My name is Joe and this has been FPL First.